Your eBay days are numbered if you're not doing these three things. Hello everyone, I hope we're all doing well today. I'm going to pop on and just talk about three of the things that have really helped me grow my business and what I believe going forward are going to be a massive proponent in: one, staying in business; two, growing the business in this changing resale environment. It is getting harder to resell and flip things online for a profit. It's getting more competitive. Everybody, with the invention of things like Vinted and these AI listing tools that are coming up, which is inevitably going to make it more competitive, because it's going to be, the barrier to entry is getting lower and lower, and it's getting seemingly easier and easier to list stuff online. So yes, these are let me try that again. This is three of the things I'm going to continue to do and have been doing for the last couple of years that have managed to get me to a point now where we are sustainable and this is my full-time income. So when I go over these 3 points, I'm going to talk about how I actually have implemented or will be implementing these in the future to grow my business and keep on going with this reselling job, which is the goal, of course. So number one is, you're probably already on this path if you're watching a video like this with this sort of title, is constantly improving your business. Now, this is at face value a no-brainer, but for a lot of people, including myself in the past, we slip into bad habits where we are just happy to coast. Coasting in business is basically dying. If you are coasting and your numbers are the same every year, you're basically earning less money because of things like inflation and increasing fees on eBay, increasing cost of goods. All these things are always going up, and if your numbers are staying the same and your business is not improving or growing, you're essentially getting worse every year. So it's important to keep on growing, keep on improving the things that grow the business. Important things for me to concentrate in this area are things that allow me more time or more efficiency within the business. So things that I have managed to do is improve my processes and my scheduling. So what I now do is I have an exact schedule every day written out in paper. Well, it's actually on the computer, but of exactly what I do every day, because my job as an eBay reseller in the week is very boring, very repetitive. That allows me the freedom to actually create a schedule that I can stick to in concrete and make sure I get all my important tasks done every day, no matter what. So obviously, if it isn't broken, don't fix it, but that doesn't mean we can't improve it. So it's important to not mess up your systems completely, but the one thing I am trying to focus on and have been focusing on more so recently is making sure my scheduling is perfect. Not perfect, because you're never going to be perfect, but is dialed in. So every day I know what I'm doing, where I'm supposed to be, at what time. And I actually took the time out of my day a couple of weeks ago to go through this. It took me a couple of hours, used AI, and just went through and built a schedule that worked for me around my needs, my schedule, everything I want to get done in the day. I told AI, and then it laid it out for me. It saved the brain power. It was definitely worth it. It's allowed me to really keep my days on track. Whereas before, I would sort of float around. Maybe I'll do my listings now. Maybe I'll do my listings in an hour. Maybe I'll go out and do some charity shops. But now I'm like, no, Tuesdays, charity shops, then back for shipping or whatever it is. But I know the times every week. If you said, where are you going to be on a Thursday at 3:30? I'm going to be like, right, I'm doing my labels. Printing my labels ready to ship. I just know, which has been massive, because now it allows me the freedom of the mind to not have to worry about where I'm going to be or what needs doing. I know what I need to do because it's all on the computer, and it takes the decision making out of the day, which frees up a bit of time, a bit of mental space to work on other things. Also, what this actually requires is you to become more efficient. Now, I've been working, it's very boring, and the boring stuff is effective, right? The more boring the business, the better, in a way, because boring kind of means process driven, and that's just the best thing you can do. So even down to the things like processing your items when they come in, if you can get that more streamlined, it frees up more time to go back out and find more items. Just little things that it takes time to actually learn what's going to work for you, but just constantly trying to improve that process and speed it up for your own mental sanity. You might think, actually, I've got plenty of time in the day, it doesn't really matter if I'm not quick, but actually, in my opinion, it does, because I don't want to be listed on eBay all day. I don't want to be photographing all day. I don't want to be doing any of these things. I want to get home as quickly as possible and enjoy my evening. I don't want to have to be faffing around listing or cleaning items, or I want it to be quick. I want everything to be quick. I don't want to have to be slugging through a day. I want it to be efficient, and driven processes allows you to do that, in my opinion. And it's worked well for me. Also, do not be afraid to invest in your equipment. I've recently bought some good studio lights. I'll pop a picture up on screen what that looks like. 37 quid on Amazon, something like that. But It's just the little things. Is it going to make me more money? Yes, in the long run. Am I going to be able to tell the difference straight away? Not really. And the reason I did buy them was it saves me worrying about lighting. If it was a dark day outside, I couldn't take pictures because it was too dark and dingy and shadowy. But now I can just take pictures, don't have to think about it, stick to my schedule more closely because of that investment. I've also invested about £5 into a decent lanyard that I wear around my neck with my phone on, so I don't have to put my phone down during pictures. Just these little things that you slowly pick up. I think bugging you. Think, what can I do to make that better? How can I change something to make that easier? That's basically how you find what's going to work for you, is find a pain point and try and find a solution for it. Number two is the bit everybody loves, and it is sourcing. If no matter what niche you're in, it's getting harder and harder to source. Like I mentioned, reselling's getting more and more competitive. Everybody's trying to do it, pick up a bit of holiday money, a bit of beer money. Everybody's down the boot sale, trying to just find a bargain. So your sourcing needs to be, you obviously need your knowledge and constantly growing that, but the sourcing can no longer be, in my opinion, reliant on one area of sourcing, meaning one place. You can no longer just be like a charity shop person. You can no longer just be an online vintage sniper. You can no longer just rely on wholesale. In my opinion, you need to be able to do all of them and have a comfort in all sourcing methods. For me, the hardest one for me is charity shops. Now, charity shops are really hit and miss, and for me, they're actually a bit of a pain point because you can go out all day and find free items, and you're like, if I just spent that time on Vinted. But I'm pushing myself to try and learn a different sourcing method, because we don't know what's going to go, right? We don't know if charity shops are going to go solely online and they're going to shut every shop because high streets are getting more expensive, and they might go, it's not worth it for us, we're not bringing enough money. They might shut every shop in the country. Then what? We got to figure out something else. Car boot sales, if they become illegal, like the government shut them down because there's too many illegal goods being sold, or something weird happens, you never know. You've got to be able to switch. So yeah, being able to pivot on your sourcing methods, being used to sourcing in every which way, finding several ways to source, just strengthens your business. The third one took me 3 years to learn, and it is actually taking the emotion out of your business. Now, I recently had to learn this the hard way, where I've had to close a brick and mortar shop we had in the high street and move into a garage and my old bedroom. Now, it was an ego hit. It was very emotional to lit that up. It was something I worked and I was proud of, but it wasn't quite profitable. And it took me probably 18 months to pull the trigger on actually shutting down the business, which should have happened 18 months ago, and we'd be a lot better off if we'd done it quicker. So for me, decision making and removing the emotion from the business, looking at the business in a more ruthless sense, is going to help you massively. Now, you can also do this in other areas of the business, not just where you're running the business from or massive expenses. This actually comes in micro decisions in your sourcing. Now, a lot of the time when I'm at a boot sale, when I'm in a charity shop, I will make a snap decision on emotion where I think something's cool, I think something might do well, instead of pulling up the eBay app and making sure it will do well with the data, right? We don't need to be guessing anymore. We can look stuff up online straight away within a second. Google Lens, those sorts of things help you look it up straight away. So yeah, there is no excuse anymore for making emotional decisions in sourcing just because something looks cool or you think something might do well. Don't get me wrong, it's always worth taking a chance if it's a quid, right? But yeah, there is realistically no need anymore. 99% of your pickups should be guarantee sure things. You should never be taking gamble in that way. Also, in terms of emotional decision making, also when it comes to like eBay, Vinted, Etsy, whatever platform you sell on, one of the biggest catch ups I used to have was actually customer service and getting emotionally invested in the customer service side of things. So if I had a snarky message, or if I had a customer that was being difficult, or a customer that kept asking loads of questions, or a customer that wanted to return an item for a rubbish reason, what I thought was a rubbish reason, I would get so caught up in that. I would try and fight it. I would try and, delay it as long as I could. And in the end, I actually got a defect on my account, and I thought, you know what, this isn't worth it. Let's say you get 5 sales a day and you get 3 returns a week. Why are we worrying about 3 returns a week? It's not, if you scaled that out, it's not even a fraction of your business. It's not even worth the time to think about. So now what I actually do is, if I get an eBay return, I just don't even look at the reason. I just say, yeah, that's fine, send it back, I'll refund. and then as soon as it's delivered, I just refund. I don't even like care about arguing it anymore, even if the items comes back damaged or stained, or I know it's been worn. I don't argue, just refund it, wash the item again, and relist it. It will sell again. If it's sold once, it will sell again. So yeah, and just keep it trucking. Don't worry about the nonsense that comes with selling online. Trust me, I've ran a brick and mortar. You get it in there as well. So yeah, just remove the emotion. It's not worth it. You know, we're stepping over pounds to pick up pennies in that sense. So just keep on pushing forward. It's worth it to just ignore the nonsense that comes along with selling online. It's not worth getting caught up about. I hope in some way this video was helpful. I'm not an expert in eBay. I'm just somebody who's got about 4 years experience doing eBay to a level, not anything amazing. Like I say, it's my full-time income. I'm not earning millions. I'm not, you know, I'm managing to save a little bit every month, pay my bills, that sort of thing. It's just ticking over. I have aspirations of growing it. I believe I will grow it to something a bit bigger. But yes, it's just my experience, what I've learned, some of the pain points that I've come across and sort of pushed through with these methods. So yeah, hopefully it was helpful. I do appreciate you watching till the end. If you did, thanks guys. See you on the next one.